Durfee, the back.
And go power right now. Here's Luke Durfee and the big man. Rumble inside the 5, dives toward the goal line. He got there. Yes, touchdown. Luke Durfee. You want an answer? There's your answer. Welcome in Deseret News Rewind. Dusty Litster, Dane Stewart as always, presented by Heidemann & Associates, brought to you by the Utah Army National Guard, and outfitted by Black Clover.
Yeah, that's right, Dusty. And just a reminder, hey, Black Clover, they've got a local store. You can go in, try on the gear, just off 123rd South in Draper, next to the water park. Try on the size, feel it out, see what you like. But you can see their full lineup online. You don't have to go anywhere. It's socially distanced safe, right? BlackCloverUSA.com. Use the promo code DNR20 to get 20% off your order from BlackCloverUSA.com.
Now, I know we have a lot of business owners that watch our show, and not only that, people that do leagues and different things. If you want to get gear for your teams and also your sales team or whatever, your employees, Black Clover does do that as well. So hit us up. We can help you out, get you set up with the right people. They'll get you taken care of and get you in touch with the right people, get you great pricing for that as well. Let's jump into this. What a crazy week. 1 week left of the regular season. Can you believe this is fall break next week? Games every night of the week, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. We'll bring you as many as we possibly can. But let's get started today. Our opening statement brought to you by Heidemann & Associates. If you got any lawn needs, get things set up, business set up, you need to get will and trust set up, Justin Heidemann's there for you. Yeah, he is. And Dusty, full-service law firm, has locations up and down the Wasatch Front, down in St. George as well, for all of our Region 9 friends. And going to give you a free consultation if you tell them Deseret News Rewind sent you. Call 801-754-4240 to schedule an appointment with Justin Heidemann & Associates. Our opening statement is a closing statement. When we start thinking about the teams in the state that are making big statements to close the year, because we had a lot of big games, and we don't want to take away from the games we're going to talk about in the best of 6A and everything else, but we just want to talk about teams closing. And let's talk about, well, there's some obvious ones. Let's talk about an obvious one, shall we? All right. Corner Canyon. Corner Canyon. We'll talk about the Skyridge game, but a major closing statement. They're gaming us AF this week. They finally get to their rightful place as #1 in the 6A RPI, but they are finishing the year strong. They really are. And to me, the thing that's got to be scary if you're in 6A is the fact that Corner Canyon is now having to close out games late, and they're learning how to do that, right? So it's not just building big leads and coasting to victories, it's finding ways to come back from deficits. Did again this week. We'll talk about that more later on in the show, but it's a team that's playing really well right now, as they have been all year. But I think these close tests are going to be really crucial for Corner Canyon if they want to repeat in 6A. Yeah, well, let's go to another one. Let's stay in my favorite region, shall we? Region 4. Lone Peak. Lone Peak, kind of, you know, it's still lined from your favorite Major League. I'm more Major League 1. He's Major League 2. They were just lined in the weeds. Rise and shine, Lone Peak. How about it? We didn't know what they were at the beginning of the year. We were trying to figure out who Lone Peak was. They had that tough loss to Corner Canyon where they played them tough up at the half. Really well, But now wins over Skyridge, down 10 3 different times against AF to come back and win that game, 48-45. We're up by 10 in that one at one point. But this Lone Peak team really coming on strong. They are, and Dusty, they had to go deep to get this win over AF, and that was one of the other things to me, the closing statement they had, right? The closing push that they're making is, hey, look, we're not just starters, right? We're not just 11 players on each side of the ball. Hey, Muli came in, backup quarterback, also had to close that game out with Cloward out of the backfield, including Durfee. I mean, they're being pushed here a little bit, and so great job by some of those players playing more time or positions that maybe they aren't accustomed to playing, coming up big and to come from behind victory. This Lone Peak team, folks, really scary. I know our preseason we didn't have them very high because we didn't know what they had coming back. Well, we're in week 9. We know what they have, and it's as good as any. And #2 in the RPI, I believe, as of this morning. I think it's been closed out, so I don't think we know. Closed out, never mind. Well, it was on Friday, at least on my rankings, the way we went on it anyway. It's interesting to watch where that one goes. Let's go maybe 5A. How about Bonneville? Bonneville wins their first region championship since 2002. A team that Dane, I got to give Dane props, was the first one who told me, hey, watch out for Bonneville. They could be in the mix in Region 5. Well, they were in the mix. They are the mix in Region 5. Look, you always love just selfish reasons. I think anyone like this, when you make a little prediction and it comes true, you like to, all right, we got one, right? Finally, we got one out of the 15.
I don't know that I saw this coming from Bonneville this year. What a run from the Lakers. We'll talk about their game this week more a little bit later. And congratulations to Bonneville. You know, man, running the table in region play. Just did not think we would be in Region 9 and say Bonneville is undefeated, but hats off to you, Lakers. You talk about the first region title since 2002, and they've had to deal with some injuries as well. Talk about losing City, you know, midway through the year, still having to kind of figure out how you can get that offense, and they exploded. Dusty, how about this? They scored 42 points in that region championship game, essentially. It's the second most points Box Elder has given up this year. They don't give up a lot of points. They don't give up more than 30 on a regular basis, and Bonneville struck early and struck often in a big win in a region championship.
Yeah, it's interesting to watch what Bonneville has done this year to see how good they're playing. And I'd like to go with some other closing of the year, but Tinview's not played very consistently. Yeah. Orem has not played in 4 weeks. That's a great closing statement. They're putting up zeros every week.
Yeah. Let me. How about this? Orem. Orem fans will hope this isn't the case, Dusty. Ready for kind of a weird/fun fact?
I love weird/fun facts.
You realize Orem could win Region 7 with a 1-0 region record?
I did. Thank goodness for the RPI, right?
Man, are you serious? Crazy. How about this though? I'm gonna go off the beaten path for you a little bit, right?
Oh, I love unbeaten paths.
Here's a closing. Like here's how to close a season. I think I said something like week 3, week 4 about what a rough start, an untraditional year for Juan Diego. They have flipped the switch, and good on you, Soaring Eagle. They're soaring right now with the playoffs right around the corner. Think that means good things for the boys of Juan Diego. We'll see with the playoffs coming, but this is a team that is playing much better in the back half of the year than they did the early part of the year, and incredible, impressive closeout for the Soaring Eagle.
Yeah, I think you look at Region 8, Springville and Salem Hills as well. Springville beat Salem Hills. Salem Hills have bounced back, and they're looking very strong as well. Region 8, we knew they would be good. Maple Mountain, we knew those three. That was another one we talked about earlier in the year. We thought they would have a strong year, and they're all proving that here in 5A. In 3, let's go 4A too. I'll go 4A. How about Pineview? Pineview's gone through the gauntlet. They beat Snow Canyon, take care of Dixie. They're gonna get a bye. The roads all go through St. George, literally, for the state tournament. And Pineview could be playing. Well, any of those 3 teams could be playing at home.
Yeah. No, it's been a good close for all of them. Pineview obviously looking to be the cream of the crop in Region 9. Been an impressive way to close. How about Skyview, a team that has been impressive as well? But last couple of weeks, Dusty, it's felt like hasn't been as consistent of contests for Skyview. I think some things there that they can look to close up or shore up with the playoffs around the corner.
Yeah, they had that impressive win we'll talk about against Bear River, but they are playing really, really strong football. And then, by the way, there is a team that now says we are Region 2. How about West? Yeah. We'll go through the win, but the West Panthers closing out this season strong in year 2 under Coach Junior Solovey. Yeah,
and I mean, they have an opportunity to be a co-region champion at West. It's been a long time since that's happened. And, you know, Dusty, huge win, obviously. Talk about the bounce back after a disappointing loss against Hunter. It was a big rivalry game, a lot of emotion that night. Hunter got an impressive win. They've looked really strong as well. The Wolverines have in Region 2 in late weeks. But, man, you talk about putting a stamp on a season. West, job's not over. We'll talk about this more, but impressive win. And don't want to say a shift in the tides in Region 2, but that's no longer a given.
Yeah. Those are some of the closing statements that we wanted to go through today. You can hit us up on some of those others, but trust me, we got plenty of show left.
Yeah.
As you look on the rundown right here, we got plenty of things to talk to. Let's get to our game of the week. Lone Peak AF was our Thursday night special. But Dane, we're at Fremont because Fremont Davis was the game of the week.
It was, and Dusty, really one of the, less heralded rivalries, but it's a good rivalry up here in Region 1.
It's a basketball rivalry, right?
Well, it's football too, Dusty. How about this? I was surprised learning this. Davis hasn't beat Fremont since 2013 on the gridiron. And this year, Davis, look, they were a top 5 team, and a lot of people had high expectations of the Darts this year. Coming in, obviously you have focus losing to Weber last week, but in the early going, Dusty, it was Fremont. And the offense in the first quarter, they were able to drive. They actually got stopped on a 4th and goal. The Davis defense came up big to keep the game scoreless at this point. We'd have to wait till the second quarter for Fremont to break through. How about a 48-yard field goal for the Silver Wolves? That's a long one, and it's good. 3-0 the advantage for Fremont. Davis finally started to get that offense going in the second quarter, and it would be Spencer Ferguson who had such an impressive night for the Darts, capping it off with a 4-yard touchdown run. 1:32 left to give Davis their first lead of the contest, and maybe something to feel good about going into the locker room. But feel good, I'll give you something to feel good about. How about Kyler Cotter? A 98-yard kickoff return right after that Ferguson touchdown. The Davis lead is short-lived as the PAT would be missed. 9-7, the advantage for Fremont at the break. Second half, and Davis got the football, and they looked like the Davis that we've been accustomed to seeing all year long. Trujillo to Stewart. I don't know how Stewart gets out of this tackle about 15 times, but he does. One of the more impressive touchdown receptions you'll see this year on the touchdown to David Stewart. The lead back to Davis 13-9. Later in the third quarter, in fact, the next drive, Ferguson able to cap it off 12 yards out. Midway through, it's 29, and hey, Dart's just going to run away with this, right? Offense click in, and this is what a lot of people expected to see. How about the response from Cannon Coford? The junior quarterback just would not let things go away. Able to find Bingham from 30 yards out and pulls Fremont back to within one possession. In the third quarter, 4:01 left, it's 20-16. How about this, a key moment in this ball game, 4th and 1, and Davis has Stewart try to go for it here. Almost looks a little bit like a rugby-style read, but Fremont was not fooled anywhere. A block punt, a short field set up for the Silverwolves, and they would take advantage as it would be Cotter to McFarland, 7 yards out, and the Silverwolves retake the lead here, 23-20. That Davis offense, Dusty, we talk about how impressive Spencer Ferguson was. Look at the runs he's reeling off here. When you need yards, you need a drive, give it to the senior tailback, averaging 8 yards a carry coming into the contest, and he is able to cap this drive out from 9 yards away, his third rushing touchdown of the ball game. A missed PAT here for Davis would make it 26-23. Fremont, what kind of response would this junior class have? How about this, a 3rd and 10, and Cotter able to find Hayden Hall for a big conversion. Later on in the drive, 3rd and 19 after a couple penalties. Where's this one going? Hayden Hall again comes up with a big reception up the sidelines, and Fremont is in business. They get this ball inside the 10, a couple of running attempts. We're down to 20 seconds left, no timeouts for Fremont, and it's Hayden Hall with the carry, pushing it into the end zone. Touchdown Fremont with 16 seconds left to go. The Silverwolves walk into Kaysville, and Dusty, impressive night. They were able to come back from the deficit, especially when it looked like Davis was getting ready to pull away. Cotter, Hall, these juniors would not let the Darts get out of range, and they come back, make an impressive 4th quarter drive to pull it out. 30-26 the final as Fremont makes it 6 straight over the Davis Darts.
Terrific comeback for Fremont. I mean,
incredible.
On a weekend of great comebacks. Should we talk about them?
Well, before we do that, before we move on, I apologize. I should have done this earlier. Hey, look, when you're Fremont and you get a win in a rivalry, you know what you get? The socks. We got the Fremont socks.
You got to make sure to show
today.
Coach Dale about. By the way, when you got coaches that run stairs.
Yeah.
Coach Lisa Dale about. That's why she's good.
Yeah. Congratulations, Fremont. Game of the week.
Dedication. Dane showing some dedication. He's going to wear those all day today. Good on him.
He brought a change.
All right, let's go to the best of 6A. Give Dane a little bit of a break. This was the game of the weekend. This is what everyone's talking about. A little bit of controversy, a little bit of everything, but it's Corner Canyon trailing Skyridge 26-14. Those of you who've seen this at the end of the half, Skyridge looking like they're going to punch it in to go up 33-14.
Yeah.
Ball comes out, or did it? There's a little bit of controversy. Was it a touchdown? Called the fumble on the field. Corner Canyon recovers. And the score was 26-14 going into the 4th quarter. 7 minutes left. And then it is Dart finding his guy, or finding his man, Noah Kerr, everyone's guy. Noah had a big night. 8 receptions, 109 yards, and a touchdown. And with 59 seconds left, again, Jackson Dart on 4th and goal finds Cody Hagan in the back of the end zone. Is this game over? Nay. Back comes Skyridge. How about Hillstead leading Skyridge all the way inside the 5? We saw him for a field goal and a tie. No, going for the win. Hillstead stopped at the 2-yard line, doesn't have anybody open downfield, and Corner Canyon wins 35 straight games, the longest win streak since Timpview. when they lost their opening game of the year in 09 to Pleasant Grove. I know, because we were there. That was the first game of High School Rewind, was that one. But big win, 29-26. How about the line for Jackson Dart? 17-32. Kind of a tough night, but 4 touchdowns, 1 pick. He had 14 carries, 158 yards on the ground for Jackson Dart. Hillstead was 17 of 21. Here's the interesting line for Hillstead. 17 of 21, 3 touchdowns. He had 2 turnovers, and those go as incompletions. So half of those incompletions were turnovers. Unreal night. Jeter Fenton, got to give him some love. 144 yards on the ground.
Good on him. Can we hold there just for a minute?
Yeah.
How about the Corner Canyon defense? I mean, you have the turnover, defense? Whether that happened or not. But, Dusty, they also stopped Skyridge on a 4th down late in that game that led to the game-winning drive for Corner Canyon, and then getting the stop to keep Hillstead out of the end zone. But, you know, I contacted our stats department because I was like, all right, we need to be able to talk about this core for Corner Canyon. And Noah Kerr's been fantastic this year. You know, Dusty, he is scoring a touchdown on like 25% of his receptions for Noah Kerr end up in the end zone.
Wow.
Well, you want wow?
Cody Hagan.
Hold on. That's the 3rd best on his team, okay? Handley scores a touchdown on 43% of his receptions, and Hagan scores a touchdown on 48% of his receptions. Folks, look, I love Noah Kerr, and he's having a great year. Get the ball to Cody. It's a flip of the coin, man. He's going to end up in the end zone.
That's true.
How about that?
That is very true. Maybe somebody else on the show should give other receivers love. I guess there are other receivers.
Well, I was just going to say, needless to say, the receiving core at Corner Canyon has some skills.
Hey, somewhere out there, someone's yelling, Jet Miney does lots of things too. He's not yours. He's not there. He's Miney. Jet Miney.
That was a good call.
You like that. Your best 6A.
My best of 6A, Dusty, is the game we were at, and we talked about it a little bit earlier. Lone Peak AF, incredible. And how good was this AF team going to be? They've got Corner Canyon looming coming up in week 10, but they got to deal with one of the best defenses in the state in Lone Peak, and it is one of the best defenses in the state.
And the best defensive player.
Yeah. And my goodness, how about the night for Maddox Madsen? He was absolutely sensational in this ball game, had 5 passing touchdowns, 4 of them to Ingersoll. You mentioned earlier, they had Lone Peak up. They were up double figures to Lone Peak a couple times in this ball game.
Yeah.
And, you know, Romney got the start. 3rd series in, it was Heimuli. They turn over the reins. We didn't see a lot of Willits in this ball game. Saw Cloward, saw Durfee. That running game really got things going. This second half Lone Peak team looked completely different. They were able to storm back. I think went on a 20-0 spurt in the 3rd and 4th quarters as Lone Peak able to pull one out 48-45 over the Cavemen. Heimuli, 4 passing touchdowns, all of them to Weston Covey, who's pretty good. Apparently, Region 4 has good receivers. And
hey, here's some Region 4 receivers we don't talk about. How about Lindsley? Lindsley made every big catch in that game, and then Crew McChesney down the stretch had big catches. But Lindsley made the big catches throughout the game to move the chains in that one. I can name some other receivers, too.
Lone Peak 48-45 over AF, and probably, my opinion, solidifying that number 2. When you think of the best teams, I've got them number 2. Don't know if the RPI will agree. We'll find out Saturday.
Well, how do they battle on was it Wednesday or Friday? I'm trying to even think when all the games are. This week against Corner Canyon, what do they do? All right, go best of 5A. How about a team that went down, was number 1 in 5A in the RPI. They lost to Springville, came back. How about Salem Hills needing wins? And Salem Hills blanking Wasatch. Wasatch came in this game scoring a lot of points, 28 on the year, but in the last few games, well over 30 points a game. Shut them out. Jarrett Elmer threw 2 touchdowns to Reed Johnson, 1 to Austin Hollows, and the Skyhawk defense was all over the place, taking care of the Wasatch Wasps. 21-0 win for Salem Hills.
Yeah, that's
before the RPI closed last night, they were back to number 1.
Good on them. That's a big win. Big win for Salem Hills. And you mentioned the most impressive thing, shutting down that Wasatch offense, which has been high-powered. I'm going to go to a team, Dusty, who got their first region championship since '02. Yeah, you know where we're going. Region 5, the Lakers of Bonneville High School. Playing Box Elder, region championship match. Box Elder doesn't give up a lot of points. We talked about that earlier. And Cameron Best, what a night. He had 4 passing touchdowns, 1 rushing touchdown. Gray Bell had 2 receiving touchdowns in the win for Bonneville. They were all over the Bees. It is fall. Bees are starting to slow down a little bit. 42-14, the Bonneville Lakers are your Region 5 champs. Congratulations to the Lakers.
So awesome. Awesome. I love when you have some new powers come in. All right, best of the rest. This is one of the fun ones. Manti and North St. Pete. Now, Landon Bowles, the quarterback for North St. Pete, will be out 2 to 4 weeks with an injury. So he did not play in this one. How about this? The Hawks fell down 29-14 early in this game, and then Tyler Allen leads 2 North St. Pete touchdown drives, ending in passes to Cole Mickle. Had 2 touchdown catches in the fourth quarter, get a 2-point conversion, and then nobody wanted to win this game, Dane. Interceptions on consecutive plays, fumbles, punts. This game goes to overtime, and this is why I wanted to share this story. If we go to the way back machine here, Vince. Manti versus Juan Diego. Manti gets a big touchdown late to tie this game against Juan Diego. I only bring this up because the way this is going to finish. Missed the extra point, no overtime, Manti loses. How about this? Go to overtime, Manti's defense gets an interception of Allen, turn right around, and then it's Manti's kicker, Seth Cornelson, comes out for 31 yards away, buries the field goal, and Manti beats their rival. You want to talk about a Riley Jensen mental toughness moment of the week? Yeah. We got a few of those. We'll go to one that's a big one. We'll do the whole graphic, but this is one of those. Cornelson missed that field goal to send that game to overtime against Juan Diego, but wins this one. That's the one he'll remember. Yeah. Congratulations, Seth. We won't mention any other Manti Templars by name because Seth was the one that stepped up in a moment where he had to think back of what happened 4 weeks ago, put it all away, and it was bumping in Manti.
Good on him. Good on you, Manti. Congratulations on a big win. My best of the rest, Dusty, you said Beaver is 2A. Yeah, they are. Yeah. You know, and there was a team that some people thought maybe might be able to hang with them, that being the Kanab Cowboys. Well, how about the Enterprise Wolves? They had Kanab this week, Dusty, and Enterprise takes care of Kanab 24-14. In fact, this game was 17-0 at the half for Enterprise. Kanab had a late touchdown to even get it to 14. As they say, that Kanab defense, psh, we got a defense of our own. The Wolves were howling as they now take over second place in 2A South. Hyatt and Jimenez had touchdown runs. Smith had a 46-yard fumble return for a touchdown. Enterprise, good on you. A team that risen in 2A South.
Sometimes Cowboys, no matter how many guns you got, you can't keep off a wolf, right? All right, let's get to the quick hits brought to you by the Utah Army National Guard. You're looking for a change in your career and you just don't want to have to give up the pay that you currently have. You need some help. Utah Army National Guard has over 150 job training opportunities, Dane, but you don't have to worry about the money either. Yeah,
up to $20,000 in educational assistance available and $20,000 signing bonuses available depending on the career path chosen. To learn more, visit nationalguard.com.
Let's let you start first, Dane. I took best of 6A first, so you go first here.
Hey, I'm going to go with the Morgan Trojans in South Summit. This Morgan team, Dusty, is putting up a lot of points. This is not the Morgan of last year where they won games but with just defensive scoring, right? This Morgan team is special. How about Ryder Lish? 4 rushing touchdowns, 1 passing touchdown. The Trojans ran for 7 rushing touchdowns on the night, 55-13 over the Wildcats.
Do you hear that sound?
No.
It's finally cheering in Woods Cross.
Hey!
They've gone so close the last few weeks, up 10 points in multiple games in the second half. Ball in their hands, a chance to win in multiple games in the second half. And finally, Woods Cross coach Gladwell gets his first win as the head coach of the Woods Cross Wildcats. And guess who was the scoring the touchdowns in this one early on? The big man, Griffin Hess, the defensive tackle. Gets the first 2 touchdowns of this game. Jonas Nurden, let's go through all the scores. Just because it's your first win of the year. 38-0 win over Viewmont. Griffin Hess with 2 touchdowns. Jonas Nurden with a 10-yard run. Austin Bradley with a 59-yard or 29-yard field goal. Not 59, 29-yard field goal. Caden Feller with a 57-yard catch from Kenton Nagley. And then Noah Wright, a 26-yard touchdown reception from Nagley as well.
Good on you, Cats.
Yeah. I'll tell you, they're not a rollover in the 5A state tournament.
They're really not a bad team. They've had some tough losses late in ball games. Just got to have a 2-possession lead inside of a minute to go, and Woods Cross, you're good. Hey, I'm going to go to a team that exhibited great depth this week. How about Park City and Tooele? A lot of injuries in that game that Park City accumulated. Think that they're going to be just fine, but able to get past Tooele 48-20 or 46-27. Warner had 3 rushing touchdowns. It was a 20-0 first quarter for the Miners as they're able to get another region win.
I'm doing this early so I don't get it buried later. How about the Ben Lomond Scots? Get a 30-14 win over Uinta. This is a program for years, since Emmett White. It's been a long time since Ben Lomond has been that team or been that scary team, but they get a nice win. Ryan Alvarez had a 93-yard touchdown reception in this game, and then he also had a 66-yard pick 6 for the Scots, as well as Ben Lomond took care of Uinta 30-14.
How about, well, I'm going to go a different route. How about Pleasant Grove and Westlake. The unsung game in Region 4. Both these two looking for their first region win. And for Pleasant Grove, hey, Westlake makes a late charge in this ball game. 9 points scored in the last 4 minutes for the Thunder, but just too big of a deficit, 26-18. Pleasant Grove gets the victory. Jones had a rushing touchdown. How about Rex to Porter for a touchdown pass in the victory for the Vikings?
You know, I did something I never do in our picks video. Watch the picks video, I'll talk about this. How about Richfield? Their first region championship since 1988.
Yeah.
Their first outright region championship since 1985. Ryan
Good
Cuff
on
wasn't
ya.
even the quarterback then. 88 he was.
That's almost Dusty's whole life.
Pretty close. 2?
Yeah.
2, yeah. But how about this? Gavin Brown. Last week we had was Casey Giddings had the big night.
Yep.
This one was Gavin Brown. Touchdown runs of, well, a couple of 1-yard touchdown runs. Giddings did have a 15-yard run as well. Emory made a late charge. I picked the Spartans to win. They go tap on Grandma Coletti's brick. If you didn't, you know why you lost. You didn't quite pull it off. But Richfield hangs on to win 31-23 and a nice win for Richfield. Congratulations on the region championship.
Da-da-da-dun, This week we had Monday Night Football.
Yes,
How
we
about
did.
Skyline and Highland? And the last
The Roger Dupay Bowl.
Yeah, and the last regular season game played at Roger Dupay Stadium. They're redoing that thing as a part of the rebuild. For Skyline, look, I don't know if there was a lot of pressure there. Maybe played like it. Early turnovers for Skyline in this ball game. Hunter goes up in this game 14-0. And then here comes Bolingbroke, the rest of that Skyline offense as they come back, take care of Highland easily. But was a great game. Congratulations to the Eagles. Remain undefeated in region play. And how about this, Dusty? You ready for a fun fact?
I love fun facts.
No pressure, Skyline. They announced this because it was the last regular season. So they went through a bunch of stats, and this was the only one I could write down because I just don't type that quickly. Skyline is 38-0 in home playoff games.
Wow.
Look, they're probably going to get home playoff games this year. Can you keep that record undefeated at Roger Dupay Stadium? No pressure, Braxton and company.
You're only going to have to get one. They're going to have a first-round bye, quarterfinals, and then you head to,
By the way,
to Dixie.
7-0 for Skyline, first time since '99.
Wow. And that was during the run.
Yeah.
That was during the golden years
Yep.
for Coach Roger. Well, those lasted a long time, but the 90s were really, really good to Coach Dupay.
The golden decade.
Yeah. It was like Bobby Bowden and the dynasty at Florida State, but they won more titles. How about Skyview and at Bear River? Bear River gave Skyview a game for a little bit.
They did.
Kason Carlson had a 5-yard run. Then Isaac Larson. This was awesome. 58-yard punt return for a touchdown. And then later on had another big play, did Isaac Larson. But it was Walter Collins, a 38-yard run and a 4-yard run as Skyview able to pull away from Bear River and get a 35-20 win. The defending champs still looking really, really good.
Maple Mountain had an impressive night in their victory over Provo. 42-17 the final as Nelson had 2 passing touchdowns, 2 rushing touchdowns. Brian Best was all over the place. I think he had like 150 receiving yards. And I thought I saw somewhere that might have been in the first half. I don't remember if that's true or not. Anyway, Brian had a big night. Nielsen had a big night. Thomas Waite had 2 rushing touchdowns, and Maple Mountain closing out the season strong.
Good night there for Thomas Waite. And I didn't get to see who wore number 15 tonight, but I've loved that thing all year long. It's been terrific.
Been great.
We've had so many good stories in the state of Utah. How about this one? Down the first 2 schools in St. George, battling it out once again. But Dixie jumps out 14-0 as Maycock and Avery Anderson had touchdowns. And then things got going. Don McKenzie had an 8-yard catch from Bunnell and then a 52-yard catch. And then Enoch Takao with a 1-yard plunge. But this is a great play. We have to show this one. Dixie was not done. Shea Anderson, 80 yards from Bronson Barbin. Would not go down. You'll see this on hashtag DNRT5. And but just was not enough as Pineview, Coach Hasna and the Panthers once again dominating Region 9. They stay unbeaten with a 32-21 win over Dixie.
We talk about 2A is Beaver. Continues to be Beaver. You know, the write-up said the score is all you need to know about this ball game. There are a few players who maybe disagrees with that. Hunter had 2 passing touchdowns. Fails had 2 rushing touchdowns. Carter, Hollingshead, and Jessup all with rushing touchdowns. Beaver 57-7 over Millard. And no shade intended to our good friends at Deseret News. Just wanted to give a call out to some of the players for the Beavers.
Miss Dilson's class not getting any love for beating up my carbon dyno, so whatever.
Yeah, treat her whatever you want to this week.
How about Parowan and Milford? The Milford men got back on the right side in 1 week and just cannot hold on to this one. Parowan with a 14-7 win over Milford. It was Easton Gent scoring twice for the Rams, as able to hold on in this one. It was also, I mean, Milford got up early, got the first 2 scores, but could not score after the first quarter.
How about a game in Region 1, Dusty? Clearfield looked like they had the lead on Syracuse. Thought they were going to be able to pull this out? No. Titans making a comeback, score 14 points in the fourth quarter, including the game winner with 39 seconds left, as it was Drake to Sierra from 13 yards out, as Syracuse gets a comeback 20-14 over the Falcons.
And that was a good one. Hey, let's stay in Region 1, shall we? The Battle of Gentile Street, Layton and Northridge, only 1 score. In the third quarter, Sione Vailahi, a 50-yard run, no other scoring to speak of, as Layton. How about that? We talk about statements down the stretch.
Yeah.
Win over Weber, get the win over Northridge. The Layton Lancers, 7-0 over Northridge.
Hope you didn't blink. Hey, I'm going to go to the Region 3 championship game. Dusty, what is going on? Can we just get like an outright winner in Region 3 for once?
No.
Easton Riverton, and this ball game was all Leopards. What, the jump out was 22-0 for East to start. Toon Ufi had like a 70-yard scoop and score. Sula, Vainuku, Tafisi, all with rushing touchdowns. East over Riverton, 36-20.
Hey, I will talk about one shutout. Let's talk about one more, shall we? How about Bountiful, a 16-0 shutout of Farmington. And this was all about Jaden Tidwell. Jaden Tidwell, 3 interceptions on the defensive end. And Brooks Fornelius, he's good, a 45-yard touchdown catch. And then Corbin Dubois, he's the other one we talked about, 57-yard run. But it was the defense, the story for the Braves.
Sometimes your rivals help you out, Dusty.
They do?
Yeah. If you remember last week, Grantsville was quite rude to Les Hamilton. And Juan Diego, they got your back. How about the Soaring Eagle? 27-0, the lead for Juan Diego through 3 quarters. It was a nice fourth quarter for Grantsville. They just needed it 3 quarters earlier. Dallas Larson had 3 rushing touchdowns. Lewis had 2 rushing touchdowns. 41-24 as the Soaring Eagles soar past Grantsville.
Say one more in Cache Valley, shall we? Green Canyon get a 30-17 win over Logan. It was a 14-point halftime lead, and then Logan made a little bit of a pushback there in the second half, but Green Canyon able to take care of business. It was Gerber with field goals down the stretch. He made 3 field goals. Jake Lundeen had a 34-yard run for Green Canyon. Boston Stewart had a 14-yard pass from Jake Lundeen as well.
Rome wasn't built in a day. Stadiums aren't built in a week. And football programs aren't built in 1 year. But you know what? Cottonwood is getting there. How about the Colts? They have the game-winning play, Dusty, with 5 seconds left to lift them over Providence Hall, 36-29. A lot of you might be scoffing, but Cottonwood, that's their 3rd win of the year. Things are looking up for the black and gold of Cottonwood High. Good on you, Colts.
Kalen Gray, he make sure we're staying up on the Colts on that one.
I'm telling you.
And sometimes you put some strings to that stuff together. Sometimes you get that alliteration going. It's good.
Well, we try.
Yeah.
We try.
I think it's alliteration.
It's something.
Whatever. How about one close one? South Sevier and Grand. We want to make sure we get all the good close ones. We know we're making this a little bit longer. But this was back and forth. Both these teams have struggled a little bit this year, but it was the Rams that took care of it. Grand made a late rally, down 15 points, but couldn't quite come back in this one. It was Parker Bryan with a touchdown run, along with Jackson Torgerson, Noah Ramsey. Torgerson had 2 touchdowns in this one. Ryland Jones, different Ryland Jones, had a good night for Grand, but just not enough, as South Sevier got a 28-25 win over the Devils.
Good week, huh?
It's a good week. Before we close today, let's get to the Riley Jensen Mental Toughness Moment of the Week. How about this one? Kearns has not lost a region game, Dane, since 2016 until they walk into Gene Plaga Stadium, a former Carbon Dyno and a longtime legendary coach at West, as Coach Junior Solovina's West Panthers got the job done against Kearns.
Hey, you know what? When you end a run like that and you do what West did, you get something a little special on Deseret News Rewind.
Whoa. They were the Blacks yesterday. You get it on? Of course he does.
I'm not doing push-ups for nothing. How about the West Panthers, huh? Dusty, the incredible thing about this game, they fell down in this ball game, I think 14-0, I think it was. Able to claw back. They had turnovers early, fumbles, interceptions. Everything early on looked like it was going to be West's game to lose. What resolve shown by this West coaching staff, keeping their young men in it. Bird Butler, fantastic, had a big interception late in the first half to set up a field goal, give some positive momentum. Also had a touchdown in this ball game for the Panthers, as Lupati had 2 passing touchdowns for West in a big come-from-behind victory, 26-17. And all of a sudden, Dusty, West in position for a co-region championship. Now, West, the job isn't done, but this is a great step in building that program done by Coach Solovey.
Yeah, it's a good building block in year 2. By the way, let's give you here Estrada just a little bit of love. It's a 47-yard field goal right before the end of the half.
Yeah,
he buried that thing with distance.
Yeah.
Really, really impressive. Congratulations, Coach Solovey. But look, Kearns is going to have to be dealt with. They were number 4 in the RPI going into the last night. We'll see where they move.
They're still a really good football team. Yeah.
Be very, very interesting. Well, let's get to the Black Clover looking good performers of the week. Again, go to blackcloverusa.com, put in the code DNR20, get 20% off. And again, if you're a business owner, get some stuff set up for Christmas presents, anything else for your employees, or you see good-looking gear for your employees. Black Clover will take care of you there as well. Get with us. We can get you in touch with the right people if you need to place those larger orders. Dane, let's start with you.
Well, Dusty, look, when you have your best season since '02, you play maybe your best game of the year, you got to give it to your best player, and his name might be came in best. How about the job he had for Bonneville in the Region 5 championship game? We already talked about it. 4 passing touchdowns, 1 rushing touchdown, leading the Lakers this year through adversity in a COVID year to a region championship, something they haven't done in almost 20 years. Congratulations to Bonneville, and came in best on being my nominee for our Black Clover Looking Good Player of the Week.
That's a good one, yeah. Reese Graybill is one of those two. Yeah, absolutely outstanding. You know, Dane, I'm going a little Dane Stewart action on you on this one. I couldn't just pick one of these guys. I got to take both of them. How about the battery of Jonah Haymuli and Weston Covey? Haymuli comes off the bench, not anything new, but he gets things going. A 62-yard touchdown pass to Covey, a 6-yard touchdown pass to Covey, another 6-yard, and a 25-yard touchdown as things just got rolling for Lone Peak. I know it was the running game, but Weston Covey, they made big plays. He and Jonah Haymuli, my looking good performers of the week, the battery out of Lone Peak. Final week of the year coming. We covered a lot of ground, but I'm sure there's someone or something we missed.
Yeah.
Hit us up. Be kind. It's all we ask. At D News Rewind, at Dane_Stewart, at Dusty Litster. Got a big week coming. We're going to cover as many games as we possibly can. In fact, folks, we've got you all the way. 4A, 5A, 6A state tournament. We're taking you all the way to the championship games. We're going to St. George. We're going to bounce back and forth. If you got games in Cache Valley, we're going to take care of them with our group. And follow us on Twitter. You let us know what we're missing.
Yep.
Love to hear from you. For Vince Francis and Dane Stewart, I'm Dusty Lister. Thanks for joining us watching Deseret News Rewind on Deseret.com.